Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and as the MCU descends into a multiverse of madness, pinpointing the culprit who triggered this shattering of reality is getting more and more difficult. Okay, who broke the fabric of existence? Someone's gotta clean this up. Like we saw reality warped in Avengers Endgame, and then again in WandaVision, and then again in Loki, and then What If, and Eternals, and No Way Home. And now I kinda feel like that guy watching the fireworks show and saying, okay, now this is the finale. Oh no, it's just some sparkly ones. Okay, now this has gotta be it. Oh no. How long is this fireworks show? We've been here for days. Everything's on fire. So identifying the primary perpetrator most responsible for rupturing the dam of the MCU multiverse will tell us which character this multiversal crisis will revolve around and whose madness must be cured to settle it. Like a great Agatha Christie mystery, I submit to you 12 suspects as I answer the question of who broke the multiverse? Suspect 1, Wanda Maximoff. Wanda was confirmed as a Nexus being with powers that exceed that of the Sorcerer Supreme, now using chaos magic to orbit spherical representations of universes around herself, hearing the voices of her sons calling to her from another dimension. With her confirmed return in Multiverse of Madness as a possible villain, and assuming Marvel Studios is adapting a House of M event, Wanda certainly is our #1 suspect, having both the means and the motive to go full-on carry on the MCU. But rewinding the clock to a few years to the suspect who took everything from Wanda, suspect number 2, Thanos. Not only did Thanos arguably send Wanda on her warpath, the guy snapped all the Infinity Stones twice, one to dust away half of all life, again to destroy the stones. We're still learning about the full effect of those radiation shockwaves, including the emergence of the Celestials and Eternals, and I suspect that Thanos as an Eternal with a deviant gene is linked directly to the Celestials' big plan. But since one of those stones governed reality in the universe, it is possible that atomizing that stone left this universe as fragile as my knees are when Thanos strikes the right pose. Similarly, suspect number 3, Bruce Banner. Banner snapped the stones to bring back the Dusted, but did so in a chaotic way that most directly seems to have triggered the Celestials. But the moment Hulk snapped, notice his body was coated in a red outline for one frame, suggesting reality was being rewritten around him. And now his own nature seems to be glitching as he is inexplicably reverted to a variant human form. Suspect number 4, Tony Stark. Stark's fateful sacrifice play was the most recent blast of cosmic radiation to warp this universe, one oddly narrowly tailored to dust just Thanos and his army, but not Gamora, whom Stark had 2 minutes in the fog of war to learn this character he never met switched loyalties. Okay, but could Stark have been permanently cursed by Wanda's chaos magic back in Age of Ultron to align the universe in a specific way that Wanda's inner destined Scarlet Witch foretold? I mean, everything else bad in the MCU is Iron Man's fault. So why not this? Suspect number 4, Steve Rogers. Despite restoring the broken sacred timeline by returning each of the Infinity Stones, Rogers nonetheless created a variance, according to Loki's director, by staying in 1949 with Peggy Carter that should have made him a target for pruning by the TVA, but suspiciously the man walked scot-free by appearing at the end of Endgame to give Sam the shield. So he got away with it. Is this old man's survival evidence itself of a multiverse already broken? I hope that dance with Peggy was worth it. Suspects number 6, Loki and Sylvie. Now I combine these 2 Loki variants into one because I believe only together did they create a Nexus event so raging and throbbing that it burst through the apocalypse that was supposed to cold shower it. I believe it was that moment that began the chain reaction of the sacred timelines unraveling, not Sylvie stabbing He Who Remains, since we saw the timeline fracturing several minutes before he died. But that brings us to Suspect 7, Kang the Conqueror, because the true plan of the Council of Kangs may have been to manipulate these 2 Loki variants into a relationship in order to create that chain reaction of chaos that would inevitably knock the multiverse so off the rails that a Kang Prime could rule openly as a fascist conqueror once more. Because in an orderly, segregated universe, Kang must hide behind the curtain, but in a broken, messy multiverse, Kang is king. Suspect number 8, Doctor Strange. In the No Way Home trailer, Strange helps Peter Parker try to gaslight society via magic, despite Wong's warnings, a spell that misfires and breaks the rules of, well, movies. Strange must have either agreed to conjure this dangerous spell knowing what it could do, or in a desperate attempt to fix a multiverse already broken, but either way, this doctor is liable for metaphysical malpractice. Now, often when I'm watching a movie or TV show, I'm furiously scribbling notes and pausing to catch all the details, but when I'm watching something not for work, I like to sit back and enjoy a nice glass of wine while I just, relax and enjoy. I am capable of doing that. But when it comes to advice on which wine I should drink, I like to lean on our friends at Bright Cellars. Thanks to Bright Cellars for sponsoring this video. Bright Cellars uses a quiz to determine your taste preferences, and then they show you a list of the top 6 wines that you are most likely to enjoy from around the world. And if you like your recommendations and want to try them, they will ship them straight to your door. They educate you about wine along the way with their wine education cards that have helpful info like tasting notes and alcohol percentage. Behold the Bright Cellar wine box I got this month. Ooh, wine. This one is called a Folk and Fable. Already jammy and spicy, this Zinfandel spends 3 months aging in bourbon barrels. It's got strawberry, blackberry, baking spices, and black pepper. Yum, yum, yum. They also have a white one. It's called Meat Cute. Stone fruits like peaches, nectarines, and apricots dominate the flavors of this sweet white. I've received a bunch of boxes from Bright Cellars over the past year, and based on my feedback, they always adjust the wines that they send me. It's just a really fun thing to open up every month. And Bright Cellars is giving our followers 50% off their 6-bottle box, and the first 100 people to check out will get a free corkscrew. So follow the link and take the quiz and get started. Suspect number 9, Peter Parker. Now, Peter is the one who tampered with the spell upon getting second thoughts about erasing the memories of his loved ones, and since the spell seems to use a strand of his hair to function, the way the spell breaks might use Peter's soul as the nexus point upon which the multiverse flips, which is why the people who cross over are the people linked to Spider-Man, his enemies, or maybe even variant Peter Parkers. Peter's intentions may have been innocent, but he is still the Bart Simpson of this crusty sketch.
I didn't do it.
Suspect number 10, Shang-Chi. Now, this guy used the 10 rings to slay the Dweller in Darkness, a being from another dimension, which according to Wang, was the moment that beacon inside the rings began pulsing, summoning something, probably to alert that multiversal threat that the multiversal demon that buffered this reality from the next has been removed, making it open season now for every other demon with a taste for souls. Nice going, Shang-Chi. Suspect number 11, Strange Supreme. Episode 4 of What If showed an alternate reality Stephen Strange absorbing countless demons from other dimensions to carelessly bypass an absolute point in the timeline, allowing all of reality to melt into nasty, nasty cosmic dark matter sludge. Strange Supreme is confirmed to return in a future episode, meaning his actions may have future consequences to the broader MCU. Either way, this guy's gotta pay for what he did to the Cloak of Levitation. However, suspect number 12, Uatu the Watcher, definitely bears some responsibility, because Strange Supreme, one could argue, was too blinded by love to see the full weight of his actions, but it was the Watcher's refusal to intervene that continually leads to multiple realities' premature deaths. Melting into ink, overtaken by ego, or zombie. Could the inevitable multiverse collision that we are on the brink of be the result of Uatu finally caving and intervening in ways that he shouldn't? So again, we have 12 suspects, some with more inky multiverse blood on their hands than others, but each guilty, at least a bit, of breaking the multiverse beyond repair in their own right. But they cannot all be the nexus event that broke the multiverse, can they? Well, folks, that is where we find ourselves back on the Orient Express, because all 12 of these suspects are equally guilty. We got 12 angry jurors, judges, and executioners who each put a crack in the multiverse dam with their own unique signature. The multiverse was already on the thinnest of ice thanks to Kang's repeated meddling, branches inconsistently patched allowing loose ends like the one Cap is on, ice broken by the Loki variants, opening a window for the Scarlet Witch to mix realities, Wanda herself being cut off by the actions of Thanos and Banner and Stark, following a voice that might have been the same voice as the one who's now following a dinner bell in Shang-Chi, all while Doctor Strange and Peter Parker and the other Doctor Strange try to play God, and Uatu not being enough of a god. Death by 12 cuts that created this perfect storm that we now find ourselves in, and therefore, I don't think the Multiverse of Madness will simply be a knot for any one character to undo, but something that will require the efforts of every MCU character to confront in their own way. way. But all this said, I mean, yeah, it was totally Doctor Strange who broke it, right? Like both him and his bizarro self ignored Wong, crossed the line, and then pointed the finger. It's not Peter or Uatu's fault. It's yours, Stephen Strange. And that's why you are the one in the Multiverse of Madness on that movie's title card. Let me know in the comments who you think is the most responsible for breaking the multiverse. Support New Rockstars by checking out our merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow and subscribe to New Rockstars. Thank you for watching, and I rest my case.